Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a mystery thriller series called Lady Voyeur from 2023. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. On January 9th, Miranda is inside the coffin, crying and screaming for help as her breath starts to grow heavy. She uses her mobile's flashlight to look around and repeatedly bangs her hand on the roof of the coffin. Luckily, the roof broke due to her continuous hits and she got out of the coffin. When she gets out, Victoria is standing there laughing at her and calls Paulo to tell him about Miranda. Taking advantage of her distraction, Miranda picks up a nearby shovel and smashes it on Victoria's head. As Victoria falls to the floor due to the hit, Miranda runs away. The story goes back to where Victoria left everyone, shocked by her new revelation. Miranda is also watching all this while standing right outside the door, and she is also speechless like everyone else. Victoria says that she knows they know her daughter as Cléo, but her real name is Anna, and she was waiting for some documentation before revealing this to everyone. Hector tries to say something, but Victoria ignores everyone and leaves after informing them that Cléo will be living with her from now on. After Victoria leaves, Hector says that this doesn't make sense at all. Everyone agrees with his statement, and Helena says that they need to tell Inês about this as soon as possible. Fernando also leaves and goes to Miranda, who instantly asks him if he knew about this stunt. Fernando replies that he is also shocked by this and thinks that Cléo had a special agenda when she got closer to him. Miranda replies that they need to talk to Cléo because she thinks she is using both of them. Meanwhile, Cléo and Victoria are in their apartment, and Cléo says to her mother that they will never accept her. She says that she is not only a call girl, but they are also her clients, which gives them more reasons to hate her. Victoria assures her that it will not be a problem as everything is in the past, and if someone says anything to her, they will have to deal with her. In Hector's office, Miranda comes to tell him that she has installed the new software in the company. Hector acknowledges her work and then talks to her about the recent issue of Cléo. They both agree on the fact that they don't believe what she is saying. Before they could discuss this any further, Rita comes there and instantly starts insulting Hector, saying that he is trash because he doesn't listen to anyone and thinks that he owns the world. She threatens him by saying that if he ever laid a finger on Rafael, it would not be good for her. She then goes to leave, asking Miranda to follow her too. But when Miranda hesitates for a moment, she gets angry and leaves. But Miranda follows her, catching up to her quickly outside Hector's office. Rita says to her that Hector is not only trying to seduce her and she is falling for it. She leaves after saying that. Miranda is speechless after her friend leaves and silently goes in the elevator, where Hector joins her and says that he doesn't know if she still thinks of him as a monster, but instead of following what others say about him, she should judge him on her personal experience with him. Back at Victoria's place, she is showing Cléo around when the doorbell to her apartment rings. Victoria goes to open the door and she is surprised to see Inês there. Victoria tries to stop her by saying that it is too early for this investigation, but Inês ignores her and instead introduces herself to Cléo, who tells Victoria to let Inês in, saying that she doesn't mind answering questions. Inês inquires about Diana's death, asking where she was that night, to which Cléo replies she was at the sex party. When Inês further questions her about the party, Cléo says that she couldn't see any people there due to the policy of wearing masks, and the only one she knew was there was Miranda. In the meantime, Miranda goes to visit her grandmother and for the first time shows her weakness by crying and saying to her grandmother that she needs her. When she is coming back from there, she receives a message from Fernando, who asks her to come to his place as Cléo has agreed to talk to him. At Victoria's place, Gloria comes to visit her and almost begs Victoria to give him some information on her son Lorenzo, as he keeps in touch with her. Victoria replies to her that he only called her to get money, and when she gave it to him, she never heard from him again. Victoria then slams the door in her face and Gloria has to go back to her place, where she instantly receives a call from Lorenzo, who tells her not to bother Victoria and says that he is in Sao Paulo at the same place where he was before, so she doesn't have to worry about that. Miranda and Fernando are waiting for Cléo to come to his place. While waiting, Fernando notices that Miranda is anxious about Cléo, so he assures her that whatever relationship he had with her was just for fun and didn't mean anything to him. Miranda replies that she doesn't care about that, but she thinks that Cléo is hiding something. Just then the doorbell rings and Cléo comes in, instantly kissing Fernando, but he pulls back quickly, giving her the hint to not do that again. She apologizes for kissing him and then quickly dives into her story, saying that when she found out about Victoria, she was confused, so she decided to get close to Fernando to know more about the family. She says that when they got closer and talked about Hector, that was when things got messy. Fernando asks her about the video she sent to Miranda for help, to which Cléo replies that she was desperate to tell someone about her condition, so she went with the video. Miranda suggests that they should go to the police to report her kidnapping, but Cléo says that she can't do it because she made a pact of silence with Hector, and that is why he let her go. And if she breaks the pact, she will be killed. Miranda tries to say that why would Hector take such a risk, but Cléo replies that it is all a part of his game and says that Hector is a horrible person, so they need to be careful around him. Cléo then leaves from there after complimenting their couple. Miranda tries to say that she thinks Cléo is lying, but Fernando reminds her of the picture she received, where Cléo was tied up and injured, and says that it can't be fake. Miranda is surprised to hear this, as she never showed him the pictures, but Fernando quickly changes the topic, saying that they should forget about it for a while and enjoy their time together. When Miranda goes back to her place, she again does some research and finds that the day those pictures of Cléo were taken, Hector was detained in a police station that night. She is confused by all this and goes to take a shower to relax when she receives a call from her grandmother, who asks her to come over, saying that Miranda is in danger and she will explain everything when she is there. Miranda quickly goes to meet her grandmother, but she is shocked when the nurse informs her that her grandmother has suddenly passed away and they found her dead on the floor. Miranda is devastated by this sudden incident, and after her grandmother's funeral, she locks herself inside her apartment. In the coming weeks, she gets several visits from Fernando and Cléo, but she refuses to open the door for them, so they have no choice but to leave. Hector has also sent her several messages, but she doesn't reply to him at all. After a month passes like this, Hector visits her and manages to get her to open the door by saying that he can understand her pain better than everyone else, but she can't stay locked in here forever. When she finally opens the door for him, he gets inside and offers to take her somewhere away from the city. When Miranda accepts his offer, he takes her to a beach house and explains that this is the place he uses as his hideout whenever he needs to get away from something. At the beach house, Miranda and Hector grew a lot closer as they gave in to their temptation and slept with each other for the first time. Back in the city, Helena visits Fernando and tells him about how Hector has disappeared for a few days. Fernando says that Miranda is also not at her apartment, and when Helena asks him if he thinks they can be together, Fernando replies that he is sure of it because of the way Hector looks at Miranda. He then says that no matter what happens, he will not let Hector win this time. Meanwhile, the police have assigned another detective, Nina, to Diana's case, and even though Inês is not happy with the decision, she has no choice but to accept the orders from her boss. Meanwhile, at the beach house, Miranda asks Hector about his past lovers. Hector tells her that even though he respects Helena a lot, he never loved her, and Diana only used him for her own advantage, so he doesn't love her either. When she asks him if he never loved anyone before, Hector reveals that his mother was the person he loved the most, but she was very controlling and emotionally abusive, and in the end, she killed herself in front of him. He says that all this made him believe that love is something that only causes pain and will eventually kill a person. Miranda then asks him if he killed Diana, but Hector instantly gets furious by this, as he says that if she still doesn't believe him, then there is no use of them being together, and asks her if she and Fernando are trying to investigate him. Miranda tries to explain that she has no ulterior motive for getting close to him, but Hector doesn't believe her and instead walks away, saying that he will find out the truth. When Hector drops her back off at her apartment, Fernando is already waiting for her there. The story goes back to January 9th, 2 months later than the current time. Miranda is running on the road when she sees a car approaching. She quickly stops the car and gets inside, but she is shocked when she sees Rita's picture in the car through her blurred vision. Miranda loses consciousness, and when she wakes up again, she is tied in a room where a man comes. When she asks him who he is, he reveals that he is Rita's ex-boyfriend, Otto. To watch more explanations of these kind of series, click on the videos on your screen, and don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.